Alright guys, we are back here with another review, and today we are talking about a new company. It's a company that finally something that you guys may not know about yet, so let me be the first, hopefully the first person to introduce you to a company called RichTech Robotics, guys. I'm very excited by this company. There's a lot of positive things to say about it. There's a few negatives, but all the negatives are very inconceivable in comparison to the positives of this company. So first of all, what do they do? Their primary function is service robotics, guys. So if you want somebody to serve you robotically, if you want somebody to make you a drink robotically, if you want somebody to clean robotically and stuff like that, this company here is becoming more and more prevalent. I watched a video of a guy talking about he saw this serve drinks at a casino. I've seen companies such as Sweet Greens, and I see companies such as Starbucks test more of the other product, the one that's making the drinks and stuff like that. So this is a very exciting company, guys. Recently, they signed a 2-year service contract with a major retail company. They call it a master service agreement. We don't know which one it is. People think it's Walmart. I think it's Walmart too. You know, it's a Delaware-based company, so it can't be Target. It can't be Costco. Those are based in the Midwest. The corporation area is that. So people think it's Walmart. I happen to agree with them, and I'm very excited for this company, guys. They also have a joint venture with a company called Bayou AI, and they have $4 million in sales signed with them as well. So it's very, very exciting. Apparently, there's another pilot with 5 U.S. auto dealerships, guys. And one of these pilots actually progressed to do more work in the future. So yes, they're at the infancy, guys. I mean, the revenue in the past financial quarter, so June 2025, ending at that period, was $1.18 million, which is actually an 18.4% drop year over year. It was $1.44 million in 2024, guys. But don't be too alarmed by that. The analysts expect that this company in the up and coming financial year will do over $5.49 million in revenue. If you were to annualize 1.18 times 4, you would get something like 460, 470. So they do see a dramatic increase. That's probably a 20% year-over-year revenue growth metric. So I know the revenue went down. It's hard for me to say why. If I was to guess, I'm guessing they're putting more into research and development, guys. You know, that's just kind of how that stuff goes. So I think that's probably why. I mean, you see the cool products they make. EPS diluted was 4 cents per share lost. The annual EPS was 0.12 cents per share. So the annual EPS wasn't bad. It's just in the most recent quarter. But back to the bad news, guys. You know, over the past 12 months, you have an EPS growth of negative 100% compared to the same quarter last year. So I will say, like, the financials themselves don't look the best, besides their revenue at forecast. But you have to look beyond that. When you're talking about penny stocks, when you're talking about companies that are so cheap, it's more than what meets the eye. We talk about that $4 million partnership with Bayou AI, this master agreement with potentially Walmart, this pilot with 5 different auto dealerships, guys. You know, they're trying to make this robotics as a service model, which is almost the first of its kind, where people could rent the robots too. They're not just about buying, they're also about renting. And you know, think of it as a leasing situation. When you lease a car, the dealership prefers leasing over buying because they get the asset back. And yes, it will cost them some money when they get the asset back to refurb it and all that stuff and stuff like that. But in the end, it's actually more profitable than you buying a car from them outright, because then they don't get anything back in the end. I mean, they get more money, but you know, but nevertheless, you know, that's something to keep in mind. You know, if you look at analyst expectations, I see between $3 and $3.50, and then I see up to $3.89 on the high end, guys. So we're definitely, you know, we're past $3 now. I think we're even past $4 last time I checked. So we're definitely on the high range. But this master agreement, this just came out within the past week. That's why, guys, in the past week, we've seen some pretty crazy growth. We've seen 27% in the past week. We've seen 91% in the last month. Now, that's the metric that gets me going, guys. What does that mean? Does that mean, is there something going on here that we don't know? And I will say most of this was attributed to that master service agreement, but we don't even know who it is. I think when it does come out, probably Walmart, we'll probably see another boost to $5. I don't know. In terms of other interesting things about the company, they were just added to the Russell 2000 and Russell 3000. Especially for penny stocks, it's good to get some legitimacy under your name. It's very, very important. You know what I'm saying, guys? And when I was talking about that barista before, guys, in Starbucks. It's called the ADAM barista. And then the other thing was called the Titan Transporter, the thing that can move drinks around and stuff like that, guys. And apparently they have a new facility that just opened up that will give them 400% more capacity, which is really, really nice. Apparently companies like Starbucks and Domino's, like I mentioned Starbucks before, but apparently also Domino's is looking into them too for pizza delivery and pizza serving. So there really is endless possibilities with this company here, but you do have to look beyond the finances. And personally, I am looking beyond the finances. That's my opinion. I purchased 2,750 shares, and I do believe this company, because of hype alone, even if the metrics are not the best right now, you have to imagine with hype alone, this will get to 20, 30 bucks. I genuinely, based on how cool the product looks, that's just my opinion. You could disagree with me, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm just telling you what I think based on hype and based on what I've seen here, you know what I'm saying? So, all very good stuff. They have a nice product line too. They have many products. It's not just one or two. There's like, I mean, I'm on the site now. I mean, there's like 5 or 6 different products here. You have something called the Scorpion, which is more for cleaning. You have the Barista. You have something called the Nature D Plus, and you have the Titan. Then you have the MedBot, which is specifically for medicine delivery and has a UV light in it. You gotta look this stuff up, guys. I must say, it looks pretty cool. And then you have a cleaning product called the Dust ES. Then you have a Dust EMX. These are like corporate. These are like fancy marble flooring. You want a nice device that can do AI cleaning, and that's where you would see something like this. These people could spare some pennies, you know, they can spare some money. So for them, you know, they can afford something like that. I'm sure it's expensive. Also, NVIDIA is also partnering with them as well. NVIDIA is actually giving them access to the top tier GPUs they have, the Blackwells and stuff like that, which is a really good sign that NVIDIA sees something in this company that is more than what meets the eye. And I love it, guys. I love it. So yes, that's my opinion. I do recommend buying it. Make sure you check out the Amazon link down below. It'll be something to do with this company. It might just be a t-shirt that has to do with RichTech Robotics. Please buy it, guys. It supports the channel when you do that stuff. Otherwise, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, favorite, put on the notification bell, and please turn off the Adblocker. I would appreciate it. Also, check out my website, pbosonline.com. You don't need an account. You don't need anything. I have a couple things on there. You have all my videos there without any ads, which is nice. You have some written reviews I have on there. You have some news articles and stuff like that. So I try to keep it interesting down over there. And yeah. But if you appreciate, you know, no stupid Discord notification, no Mountain League 4 sponsorship, like I don't do anything like that. I have a real job. I don't have time for that. If you just appreciate just the pure content that you want to know, then make sure to subscribe. Thank you and bye.